just for a little while during the message, and then we get them back again. Awesome. This place really holds music well, doesn't it? Yeah. That richness. Oh, wow, we are blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wouldn't that be nice every Sunday? So today is the last talk. Rita's really excited about that. Cool. I'm glad. Me too. And so is Evan. Awesome. Okay. So this is the last talk in our series. We have been working 6 weeks on Paul's channeled work, the book of love and creation. And we use it as a tool to shift our consciousness and a tool to transform our lives. So why do we do this? Because I am hoping that you have come to realize how worthy you are. That you are the beloved. That you have your own unique gifts waiting for you to share them with the world. I'm hoping that you've also come to understand that you are God expressing as you and through you. I'm also hoping that you realize how vital you are to the work that's going on right now in this transformation on this planet. And finally, I hope that you have come to trust in your knowing. Now when I say knowing, this is not knowing. Okay? Our thoughts, our thinking, our intellect is not knowing. Knowing comes from our heart. Knowing comes from our connection to Source. That's knowing. And when we are plugged into that, your wisdom will always tell you what is your next step to do. So you don't have to sit here worrying about what if? What if? What if the sky is falling, right? You don't have to go there because you, in your knowing, know what is yours to do next. And I found this really cool quote that I like. And I think it's really like a foundational statement for us as we step out into the world. The Ascended Teacher says this: if everything in your world is a creation and your consciousness expresses itself in its safety, there is nothing to fear. There is no longer a challenge to the reaction, I am knowing I am safe, because you cannot be otherwise. The challenges that you have known up until today have all been about mirrors. They have all been about reflections of lower frequency as outpictured by you, singularly you and collectively you. And the choice the individual makes to rise above that mirror so that it can no longer reflect fear permits others to do the same. Stepping out in the knowing as you co-create a world that works for all. So what we've been doing is we've been remembering our truth. Remembering that we are the beloved, that we are love. And we've been realigning our frequency into being love, vibrating as love. Because when we are vibrating as love, that is, my friend, the Christ consciousness. Vibrating as love. And as we resonate, right, we talked last week about emitting that frequency, to angst or not to angst, way back when, last Sunday. Right? We emit that frequency. So as we are emitting that frequency of love, we are finding other like minds who are doing that same resonance of love. And we are also attracting those who are ready to shift into their knowing of what their truth is, that they are love, that they are of God, that they have this innate wisdom that is really powerful. So when we are able to see the divine in each other, the perfection in each other, that that is when we are embodying the Christ consciousness. Now, it's easy to do when we like people. It's a lot easier to do when we like them and we like their behavior. It's a lot harder when we don't. So I'm going to ask you to indulge me in an exercise. If you would just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to imagine a politician that you don't like. It could be a city commissioner, it could be the mayor, it could be the governor, it could even be the president of the United States. Envision them. See all the things that you don't like about them. And then I'm going to ask you to go deeper. Deeper. Through the rhetoric. Deeper. Through the hatred. Deeper. Through the self-righteousness. Deeper. Through the ego. Deeper. And start to see that spark of who they are. That divine light. It's there. They too are an aspect of the divine. Okay, breathe deep and release, and then you can open your eyes. How many of you were able to see the divine? 1, 2. Okay, about a third of you. How did it feel when you got there? What thought came up? What feeling came up?
I wasn't happy about it.
You weren't happy about it. We have a lot of investment in our self-righteous indignation. How dare they? Yeah, it would mean giving that up. Any other feelings or thoughts come up? Stephanie?
Well, the person that popped up was just a shield, and this person was scared. And I started going in deeper and deeper, and I was like, I have this feeling about this person like last year. And it's the same feeling I'm getting. It's like I've been caught up in the rhetoric and fear of how I feel and reacting to things. And I'm like, this is taking me back to how I felt the first place.
Great. So what Stephanie said was that she saw that it's through the fear and the rhetoric that the person is responding from fear. Sharon?
Well, I didn't get there all the way, but the only way I could even get on the path was to imagine the person as a vulnerable child. Really,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Sharon said that she got to that point of seeing them as a vulnerable child that may have been injured or traumatized. Thank you. One more, Susan.
This is probably the same thing, but I just thought, he's human.
He's human. He's human. Thank you. So we do that exercise because if you are truly saying that you are becoming enlightened, because you know how we like to think we are. Okay. So if you really think that, and you really want to embody the Christ consciousness, that's the work. That's the work, my friends. To see each and every person as an aspect of the divine. So once we're able to pass through that distortion, because that's what that is, that distortion to the truth of who they are, that's when we are living in our Christ consciousness. And I'm going to even back it up one. I'm going to say, once we are able to penetrate the distortion that we have about ourselves, then we can see our own divinity. So all of this is about love, love being the key. It's about being in your knowing. And this next quote, it says, the remembrance of love and of yourself as a loved one goes back to the memory of your soul's creation. Your soul's creation. It's in your DNA. It is part of what you come into existence with. And that is your kinship and your lineage with the love as born in the Creator's love. You are already loved. And you are already an aspect of love. And the Creator's love for you in dimensional knowing is apparent here the moment you acknowledge it. The moment you acknowledge it. Know your DNA. You are a divine, necessary agent. A divine, necessary agent. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Knowing that we are resonating as love. The hardest thing, though, is starting with ourselves. I don't know if many of you know this, but I used to be an animal shelter director. One of my previous lifetimes. I used to work in New York City for the ASPCA right on 92nd Street. And we had a shelter in Spanish Harlem, which was on 114th Street. And so I was a shelter director for every animal that came in. And we also had the guys that would go out if animals were abused and then bring them back in. They were all under my remit. I got into it because I really love animals. From the time I was a little girl, every little animal would follow me home. Sometimes encouragingly, sometimes not, but they would follow me home. Wherever I go to the zoo, there's this like connection with the animals, you know? Every animal that was euthanized had my signature on it. Every animal that was put to sleep had to have my approval on it. I would walk around in the morning signing off. Their time is up because there's too many animals and not enough people caring for them and people still breeding them, because isn't it nice to show my child how childbirth happens? Every animal had my signature on it. And it got to the point that I would have dreams of these little animals at the pearly gates with Peter saying, "No, you cannot come in. You're a murderer." For 5 years I did that type of job. And I can tell you that my life was insane. I would be rescuing animals, I'd be doing rescue groups, I'd be running here and there, I'd be bringing animals in, making my animals sick. It was insane. And when I left, I still had so much guilt, so much shame. I wouldn't even talk about it. And I kept myself in this small, little, tiny apartment. This small life. Because of my guilt and shame. And it wasn't until I was able to forgive myself and know that those animals are the most unconditional beings in the universe that finally I was able to love myself. Do you hear me? So how many times do we walk around with our own guilt and shame? Wow, if somebody knew that, they wouldn't even invite me over. Let alone God, right? We do this hiding. Everything can be forgiven. Everything is love. And once we really, truly get that, we then get to be the love in the world. Because as long as we are walking around wounded and not feeling loved, what are we doing? Will you love me? Will you love me? Can you love me? Do you have enough love for me? Could you love? So there's this, just this like need to have love. But if I know that I am beloved, I know that I am loved, how am I operating in the world? Doesn't matter whether you love me or not, but what are you going to say, Jesse?
I was going to say divine necessary agent.
Yes, like a divine necessary. Somebody's listening. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesse. Like a divine necessary agent. I have immense capacity to love, as many of you know here. Immense capacity. I don't get tired because I'm not looking for you to fill me up. I'm already filled, my friends. And I'm a powerful woman, right? So, divine, necessary agent is about first knowing that what, and human being, beloved, blessed, perfect. And so, in unity, we know that when we pray for people, we hold them in their knowing of that divinity, right? We know that. But sometimes we do forget. There's an attunement here that I'm going to pause just for a minute and just say, if you want to, you can use this. It's on page 288. And basically, it's just about holding that love for everyone that you meet. And you can simplify it. You can say, I am loved through the person that I see before me. That's simple. But it's in this knowing. I am knowing what I need. As you begin to know what you need, you can begin to manifest it. When you don't know what you need, you're in your thinking, and your thinking is what has created your problems, because it is a beneficiary of the aspect of the self that would tell you, you don't know. I can't tell you the number of times people come into me and they say, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what my life purpose is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what my journey should be. You do know. You do know. Stay connected to your truth. Stay connected to source. Stay connected to that frequency of love. The wisdom is there just waiting for you. Just waiting for you. So this knowing is a disconnecting from that intellect, from that thinking that we know. It's a disconnect from those systems that we've talked about previously that are all created from fear. It's a disconnect from that group consciousness of fear, of the haves and the have-not, of the better and the less than. So disconnecting from all of that and moving into our knowing. And sometimes when we move into our knowing, we get a little like, I don't want to let that go. And we hold on, right? We hold on to people, places, and things that really are not ours any longer. They're not for us. But we hold on because, well, better the devil let you know, right? And we hold on to that instead of letting go and allowing people to come and go, knowing that it's going to be better. It can't help but be better. That's a powerful lesson for us to get. The other piece that I'm going to finish on is that we are divine human. And sometimes on this planet we go from one extreme to the other. We're all into fitness and health, and it's all about the body and how we look. Or then we go into the spiritual side and we negate the body, has no bearing, and it's all about spiritual. And I'm here to tell you it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both. And I just want to share this last quote, because it just went when I read it. And if you abuse your body by calling it names, or by criticizing it for not doing what you think it should, you're actually harming your frequency. So our requirement for right now is to be in joy in the physical form that you stand in, regardless of what you would like to feel. So when you decide right now that your body is in joy, your body can begin to receive the benefits of that knowing. That's really important for us because we're all aging. Our body is not working the same way that we used to love it to work, or we knew that it would work, right? But it is the vehicle for us while we're on this plane. It takes us through all of our life experiences. We need to bless it and thank it and be aware of it from that perspective. So this is about a rebirth, my friends. The second coming is not waiting for something out there, some savior out there. The second coming is you ascending in consciousness. That is the second coming. I'm going to invite Bongo Tini to please come on up, share some music with us. And as they do that, I want to remind you that next week, the title is No Degree of Separation. And we're going to be talking about how kinship and that connection with each other is really a high form of spirituality. So they're going to set us up nicely for our meditation. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and then you'll see me in a couple of minutes doing meditation.